Noise canceling earbuds at a budget price? Let's check these out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out these. Well, let me open up the case for you. These are the Boltune ANC TWS, or True Wireless Stereo Earbuds, model BT-BH023. And they're pretty interesting. There's a bit of a hiccup we'll get to at the end, but the basic design is pretty solid. So they come out and they look like that. So it's sort of like, I don't know, like an Apple AirPod with a thinner stem and a thicker main part. And it just slips right into your ear, nice and comfortable. Actually, I think that's the left one. Let's try that. There we go. And you can see it just points down towards your mouth for speaker, for actually the microphone, for you to be able to make phone calls and such. And otherwise, they feature 10mm drivers. They support AAC, which is great if you have an iPhone, but they don't have aptX, which is not so great if you have an Android phone. So the ANC they have cancels about 80% of the noise around you, or about 28 decibels. So that's not a really powerful ANC compared to others that can be up to 90 or more. But it is decently effective to get rid of just sort of the generic ambient background noise. They have enhanced bass. In fact, the sound is actually quite good. aptX8 waterproof, so I could take this and drop it into a bucket of water and it would be fine, even if it like fell to the bottom of the pool. No problem. Now, the case, I don't know. The case is, I think, a different story. Companies don't rate their cases, so if you drop it in its case into the pool, that might be a bit more problematic than just the earbuds. However, I do not recommend you wear them while swimming because they're going to fall out. So charging, it does obviously come with this nice little charging case, and it has USB-C charging, so props to them for not using micro USB. I don't like micro USB, and I'm really glad to see companies step away from it. In terms of battery life, each earbud has 6 hours of battery life, depending on the volume of the music you listen to. If you listen crazy loud, the battery will be used faster. But generally speaking, 6 hours on a charge, 4 more charges in the case. If you put it in the case for 10 minutes, you'll get another hour of listening. And let's see, in the box, this is actually kind of an old school box design. A lot of companies put a lot of effort into their presentation. These guys, not so much. It's just a piece, literally a folded up piece of cardboard and a cut out piece of foam. But maybe that's all that matters. You know, maybe you just need to make sure the things get to you intact. And then if you open this package that it comes with, it includes a small USB 3 to USB-C charging cable and 2 other sizes of ear tips, which you can't see, but they're right here. And that means in total you have 3 sizes of ear tips, which is a little bit less than most companies ship with. Usually they have 3 additional sizes, but I found that the default ones actually worked just fine for my ears, which is a good thing. Let's see. So, as I said, they're designed so that they have voice pickup for calls. And just let me triple check I got this correct. So this is right. So one of the things I will say is that there's no weird crossover. So if I pull the one from the right side, then, and it's a little tricky to get them out of the case, it goes into my right ear. Some of the ones I look at have this sort of crossover thing, which is a little confusing, but if I put these both in, they automatically pair as soon as you take them out of the case. So connected. So it's ready to go off of my iPhone 11 Pro. And each of these units has 2 microphones in it. So they say there's 4 microphones plus additional software to give you really good voice clarity when you're on a phone call. To be honest, I didn't find that. I found them to sound about the same as everyone else in terms of when you're talking. So not terrible, certainly functional. You can make phone calls, but this is nothing that's amazingly good. So if you really want to get a pair of earbuds that are perfect for phone calls, you really need to think about having the microphone extend even further. So, you know, Not bad at the price, but their their marketing sort of suggests that this is some amazing 3 times the clarity. I did not find that. Now, they do have touch controls, and the touch spot is approximately partway down the stem. So, you're doing this sort of thing, and in fact, I got some music started. There we go. And you can use them one at a time or both, which is good. So you can listen with one while charging with the other. But they don't mix the stereo signal into mono. So if you're listening to music like old Beatles music that has a really distinct left and right channel, you're just going to be missing half the music if you're just listening on one earbud. For some sources like a podcast, it's not really a big deal. The touch controls are complicated. Here's their little cheat sheet. I'm not going to ask actually any questions, so there's no quiz, but that's complicated. So honestly, for me, I just do the controls on the device itself. Makes life a little easier, particularly when you're testing lots of different devices. So you would probably learn the basics of pause and play at least. But you don't need to do that. You can just have them in your ears and you can just use them like that. I found there was no latency, so if you want to use these and you want to watch video off of your device, that works fine. Again, for voice calls, they were okay. They were not what I expected. I was hoping they'd be really, really great, and they're good. I'd say that they're good. Which leads us to the sound, and the sound is actually quite good. I was rather impressed with these, that for the budget price that they have good active noise canceling. Again, not top of the line, but they're also not priced at a couple of $100s. And the music itself is full and rich and enjoyable, and there's a nice bass. There's not a lot of presence, and there's not a lot of sort of sound stage. So I felt like it had good sound reproduction, but it wasn't giving me a rich, full picture of the music, if that makes any sense. So definitely entirely enjoyable and functional, and good at the price. And even the 80% ANC definitely does let you cut out some of your environmental noise, which is a great thing. So the challenge is that multiple times while listening to these, I had them interrupt themselves for just a second or two. So there was just a slight bit when I would be listening to the music and then there would just be a dropout for a second, or sometimes it would be like suddenly one ear and then the other ear would come back. And that's really frustrating. That's a real challenge with Bluetooth earbuds. And these, I believe, are Bluetooth 5.0, which is supposed to address that problem. So I tried them with an iPhone 11 Pro and with the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. So these are both state-of-the-art phones. You just using the very latest circuits and technology. And these had really nice sound. They really work really well. There's lots to like about them, except they just didn't keep the signal going without any interruptions for long periods of time. Now, that might vary for different people. It might vary for your environment. I do have a noisy Bluetooth environment because I have a lot of devices going. And it might vary based on phone. So your phone might work better with that. So I can only relay my experiences. So in summary, I guess I would say really solid choice, really good sound, decent functionality. ANC, even medium ANC is a great option at this price point. But I did have some interruptions and hiccups, and that makes them something where you really want to make sure you can send them back in case you encounter the same thing. So only thing left to talk about is the price. But before we get to the price, I'm going to ask if you could subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you do that, and give me some feedback. What else would you like me to talk about? What else should I have shown or demonstrated with these particular units? So that's about it. So that means we are at the price. So these, with the case, are the Boltune ANC TWS Earbuds, and they are $59.99. But when I looked on Amazon, they were marked down to $39.93. So for under $40, these are a pretty solid option. And if you can actually get away with not having those interrupts, which might be something that, I don't know, is just unique to me, if you can have them work for you, then that's a solid option, and it's definitely worth checking out. So That's my candid and straightforward review. That's all I got. So that means I'll catch you in my next video.